Hey guys, so today we're playing a game called Intoxicating, where you are a bartender who meets a mysterious woman. Um, Content warning just flashed by. So, let's go ahead and get into this. It's Saturday, and for once in my life, I had the day off. It's Saturday, and for once in my life, I had the day off. That is, until the phone rang. My stomach turned before I could even read the name on the screen. There were still a few hours before 4, and I freaking knew what was going to follow if I answered. Yet, despite my unease, I accepted the call and my fate. Immediately, a panicked Angela feverishly explained her situation to me. My sister's in the hospital. I know this is last minute, but can you please take my shift? I've asked everyone. My heart ached for her. I know what it's like to be backed into a corner. So without even asking what happened or if she even attempted to call Julie to let her know she won't be turning up for her shift, I jumped in to help her. It's no problem. I've got you. Go be with your sister. Hearing her sigh of relief followed by a soft thank you warmed my heart. I felt good, really good, and thinking back on it now, I still do. But being here now on a busy, late Saturday night with annoying drunk customers who either get belligerent with me for denying them one more shot or who have no problem hitting on me despite that fancy little wedding ring on their finger. Well, I can't help but feel some regret. After all, if I had said no, I'd be at home watching videos right now, cozy and warm underneath my brand new comforter with cream puff nuzzling against me, purring softly. Sometimes wish I was a bit more selfish. God, I can relate. Here you go, 1 apple martini. The shy college girl mutters a thank you before going off to join her friends at the nearby table. She takes tiny sips of the drink, coughing between each one. What would I do to be in her shoes, hanging out with friends on a weekend without a care in the world? Instead, I'm here. I take my eyes off her and focus on polishing an old-fashioned glass while taking a look around the bar. The other bartender I'm on shift with, Rami, is wiping down the bar top after someone spilled their drink. Despite that mishap, it seems like every patron is content. For now. What time is it? I put the shiny glass down and with great effort wriggle my phone free from my tight pants pocket. The lock screen flashes on and greets me with Cream Puff's sweet sleeping face. The time above his orange puffy head reads 11:54. Seriously, how the heck is it not even 12 yet? These last few hours are gonna drag. Oh man, and I have to come back here tomorrow. Didn't your teachers ever tell you not to stare at the clock, bartender? If you do, it makes time slow to a crawl. Eep. Nearly dropping my phone, I recumbered the fumble and thrust it back into my pocket. I turned the direction of the quiet and admittedly alluring voice. The voice belonged to a woman whose colorful and vibrant eyes are reminiscent of the stained glass I would see at church every Sunday as a kid. Her eyes like nothing I've ever seen before. If I had met this woman even just once, I'd remember her among the sea of regulars I've grown accustomed to. Well? Her voice breaks me out of my trance, and the corner of her mouth curls into an amusing smile. I must have slept through that lesson. Okay, this is pretty lady is either demeaning you, teasing you, or trying to flirt with you. No matter what the case may be, you need to respond. Putting my minor embarrassment display with my phone behind me, I lean against the bar top and shine a grin at this woman. No, they didn't. I must have fallen asleep during that lesson. was using all my brain power towards learning the English alphabet and coloring inside the lines. The woman's smirk doesn't falter. In fact, I notice one corner of her lips curl upward just a bit. At least one of those is a valuable skill. Yeah, I always thought coloring inside the lines was dumb. We're supposed to be teaching kids to reach for their boundless dreams and nurturing their creativity, yet we're telling them at such an impressionable age that it's wrong to color outside of the lines. What kind of sense does that make? Kind of hypocritical, if you ask me. The woman blinks, and her head tilts ever so slightly. Oh, no, I think I just lost her. Good going, Kate. What I meant to say was... The woman's soft, unexpected chuckle pierced through my defenses and extinguished my bubbling anxiety. For now, anyway. And here I thought you were going to ask me what I wanted to order. Instead, you surprised me with an interesting worldview. Her captivating gaze slides side to side, and then she leans forward like she's about to drop the world's greatest secret. Not that I mind. I enjoy a good surprise every now and again. Her soft, almost inaudible whisper sends a shiver down my spine, and the clear satisfaction in her demeanor arouses a spike of heat rising underneath my skin. Swallowing thickly, I step back and hope that I am not blushing too hard, and that if I am, she won't notice. Though judging by her bemused smile, I think she does. Aren't you going to ask me what I want to drink, or are you going to continue to gawk at me? She shifts the pitch of her voice slightly, like she's talking to someone who's beneath her. It takes me a second to clear my head and nod. Right. What's going on here? First this lady comes out of nowhere without so much as making a friggin' sound like she's a spy or something, and now she has me under some kind of spell? A spell that the worst part of me wants to stay lulled in. Managing to find my voice again, I prepare to blurt out my normal greeting to every new face that walks in here. Welcome to the Red Clover Inn. What can I get you today? You sound like one of those old-timey bartenders from the 70s. Could you sound any more show-timey? I feel my confidence crack a bit, though it could be worse. She could have called me a sewer rat, or like that one guy did. Oh, really? Maybe I should don a handlebar mustache and one of those striped tops so I can fit into your image of me. That could work. I'll try to wear one next time you come in. Now back to the question at hand. What can I get for you? The woman's vibrant eyes scan the menu behind me carefully. You have so many drinks here. The Lemon Tornado, Purple Rain, Malibu Sunshine. Sheesh, this place is like a frat boy's dream with all the alcohol you're serving here. She's not wrong. I told Julie we should cut the menu down because the sheer amount we have can be overwhelming for a new customer. Hell, it can be overwhelming for the bartender at times, especially during the holiday season when we get the limited time drinks in. Let me narrow it down for you so we're both not here all night, even though I may want to be. I wink at her. What's your poison? Rum, vodka, brandy, or if you really hate yourself, Everclear? She chuckles a bit, the sound causing my heart to leap in my chest. Everclear, are you trying to kill someone? I promise you, we only serve it a small amount, plus customers have to sign a waiver. She shakes her head a bit. She whispers something under her breath. Even a small amount can kill someone. All you need is a single shot. What was that? She looks at me, her dazzling eyes freezing me in place. To make matters even worse, she smiles at me. Oh, I said even a small amount can be dangerous, so it's not something I would ever dare try out. Oh yeah, most people don't, but like I said, it's a small amount, like 1/10 of a shot. Ah, good. Man, I thought she said something totally different. But back to the topic at hand. My preference is vodka, but I unfortunately have plans tonight. Oh, sorry, wrong voice. But back to the topic at hand. My preference is vodka, but I unfortunately have plans tonight, so I can't have it by itself. Huh? I glance over the clock hanging by the entrance. What in the world could be happening this late into the night? Or is it morning now, technically speaking? Plans. It's 12:05 and it's going to be raining until sunrise. What sort of plans do you have? Nothing big, I promise you. Sure, that's what every secret celebrity says, and it turns out those plans end up being a major party in some skyrise downtown. She gives a lackluster roll of her eyes at that. Parties, I don't indulge in those. Can't blame her. Parties can get wild sometimes. Always preferred small get-togethers with friends. I wonder if she's a homebody. No, I wouldn't say I'm a homebody. Huh? Are you an Esper? No, I have a knack for reading people. You were knitting your eyebrows together like you were deep in thought, and it wasn't much of a leap to make. When somebody says they don't go to parties, people tend to assume they're a hermit or something along those lines. Dang, she's good. But enough about me. The drink? Ah, right. I clear my throat. Well, we have a few mixed drinks with vodka in it, like... Surprise me. I freeze, slowly turning my head toward the woman as if I'm a character in a sitcom and she's the camera. Excuse me? She smirks. Oh, she knows. She friggin' knows. Your kind's favorite phrase, is it not? That remark earns her a scrutinizing squint. It's not like I'm asking you to pick from a million options, bartender. I told you 2 things. I like vodka and I have plans tonight. That should steer you in the right direction. True. Okay, let's see what I can come up with. Thank you. I turn my back to her, and when I do, one question makes its way into the forefront of my mind. Why am I even entertaining this? Then again, it's not like I wouldn't. Even with the worst customers, I smile begrudgingly to get a good tip, even if that meant making a miracle of a surprise me order. But am I doing this for a tip? I shake my head free of that thought. Focus, Kate. Think of the mixed drinks that have vodka in it. What would this lady like? A Bay Breeze, maybe? A red drink made up of mostly pineapple and cranberry. Refreshing, but definitely more on the fruity side thanks to the pineapple. Or would she be a fan of a red, white, and blue? A picturesque layered drink with lemonade, granada, and vodka and blue Curaçao. A lot of people her age get it. It's a little heavy on the alcohol, but she may end up liking it due to the combination of flavors and how pretty it is. Last drink to pop in my head is the Vampire Kiss, or a fine drink that is made up of vodka and raspberry liqueur, plus the rim's coated with red sugar. Tart, sweet, and light on the alcohol, though because it's sexier presentation, it's on the pricier side. What should I make this woman, given what I know? We're gonna go with the Vampire Kiss, because I just think that's where we're gonna go with. Gathering the ingredients for the Vampire Kiss, I sneak a peek at the woman who's idly plating with a little brown drink napkin. You know, I realize I never asked you for your name. It would be cruel of me to keep calling you bartender all night. I pause, the loud shaking from the mixer coming to a halt. That is, unless you like being called that. Her tone was playful. She's inferring something beyond simple name-calling. Bartender is not one of the names I like to be called, that's for sure. I clear my throat and resume with shaking the mixer, the banging of the ice bringing me a sense of calm as I'm drowning in a sea of confusion. The name's Kate. I grab the correct glass and pour the liquor inside. Despite the brief lapse in judgment, the drink looks perfect. While adding the garnish as the finishing touch, I ask a question to help keep the conversation going along. What about you? What's your name? Sorry, but I don't give my name out to people. That's a first. Not even a fake name for me to work with, like the classic bend over. Huh? Why is that? A safety precaution. Safety precaution. Against what? It's just her name. From my experience, nothing bad has ever happened to me when I gave out my name. At least I don't think everything bad has happened. Let's give her a nickname. Maybe just drop the subject. It's not really like we care. Let's be honest. Just drop the subject. The safety precaution, huh? It might be best to just drop the subject. If she's not going to give me her name willingly, I'm not going to force it out of her. Not like she's going to be making a tab anyhow. Though that gets me wondering, what happened to her to be so secretive in the first place? Victim of a stalking, maybe? Alrighty, but I still need a name, so the conversation doesn't sound so, I sent my fingers searching for my vocabulary for a word that fits the situation. Robotic? Superficial? With a slight bounce of excitement, I point my finger at her. Ooh, yes, I like that. Superficial. It's one of my favorite words. Now, what to call me? She taps her finger on her chin, giving her nickname some thought. You can call me... Her eyes twinkle slightly. Callie. Okay, I was not expecting something so pretty. Why Callie, if you don't mind me asking? It has a nice ring to it, and admittedly, it's also the first thing I could come up with. Well, out of the names I've heard during the 6 years working here, your name is definitely at the top of the list of best names Kate has ever heard. As for your reward for getting a spot on such a high-esteemed list, your drink for the evening. In quick succession, I turn around and grab her wonderfully made drink and hop back around with a bright smile on my face, similar to what you would see a presenter at an award show wear. Ta-da! I put the drink down in front of her and she takes it in. Oh. She inspects the drink carefully. I can't tell if her O is good or bad. It's so hard to read her at times. Oh, is the drink not to your liking? Not at all. I'm just surprised. Well, you did say surprise me. You're a smartass, you know that? Perceptive, aren't you? I tend to be one sometimes. Just depends on the mood you catch me in. Anyway, I was expecting something outlandish, extravagant, maybe even something so dumb it would have melted my brain, but instead you present me with a simple martini. Sometimes simple is the best way to go. But also because I couldn't come up with much else, even when given limitless freedom. Now, let's see how it tastes. Wrapping her finger around the delicate martini glass, she presses the sugared rim to her lips and engages my reaction as she does so. My courage begins to falter as she slowly places the drink back down. Her poker face is way too good to see through. Finally, a pleasant smile brightens her face. Delicious, and it's not strong. You did say you had somewhere to be tonight, for whatever reason, so I wanted to make sure you didn't get hammered. Good that you kept that fact in mind. Excellent job, Kate. On hearing her praise, I have to restrain myself from jumping for joy. To make the situation even sweeter, she takes another sip of her drink. Callie opens her mouth before she can get her words out. The blaring voice of a special news report comes from the TV behind me. Despite the mounting evidence against him, reports are indicating that Mayor Levine will be acquitted of the most of the charges against us. This includes the misuse of city funds and misconduct. Merida? Fucking hell. I shouldn't be surprised, but fuck. How hard is it for assholes to be put in jail for their crimes? Did he get off because of the lawyer he got? Out of the corner of my eye, I notice Callie grip tighten on her drink. Without even thinking, I rest my hand on her arm. She looks at me and the fiery intensity of her stare soothes. Hey, you hold that thing any tighter and the glass is going to get everywhere, including your hand. Last thing we both need is you getting sent to the hospital tonight. As if realizing how dangerously close she is to having an unfun trip to the hospital, she loosens her grip on the martini glass and sets it down. You're right. My apologies. For the first time tonight, it seems as though Callie has been truly thrown off kilter. I thought I would enjoy seeing her like this as payback for the way she's been making me feel, but I don't. I can't help but feel pity for her. Are you okay? I'm fine. I understand how you feel. The world's rough. But hey, that's why some of us come here and we drink to forget our problems of the world until the next morning when it all comes rushing back to us during a painful hangover. Well, my best attempt to lighten the mood just fell flat on his face. Callie, meanwhile, stares down at the mahogany bar, deep in thought. Kate, what's up? What do you really think of the state of the world? Huh? Thankfully, only seconds passed before she realized how complex and out of nowhere her question really was. A new gravity settles into her expression. What do you think of all this? The people, the places you go, how things are being ran, everything. Geez, that's a loaded question if I ever heard one. Can't say I was expecting to hear something like that tonight. Then again, I wasn't expecting any of this. She's looking at me expectantly, like she wants to hear my response. I'm gonna go with it's complicated. My head moves slightly from side to side while I juggle my conflicting feelings about the world. They're messy as hell, but hey, they're my messy as hell feelings. On the one hand, the world can be an awful place. People hate me and others for just being our genuine selves, and then there's the ever-mounting problems the city seems to be facing. Politicians escaping justice, the cost of living increasing, local businesses that I have grown to love since childhood closing down, crime rates increasing, and that's just the city alone. Everywhere is a shit show. But I look up at Callie, a soft smile gracing my lips. There's a glimmer of hope. People can distract you from that bad, even if it's just for a moment. I feel like you're going to hate me for my answer. I think the world is a complicated place. I can't honestly say it's good or bad. Yeah, the world can be shitty sometimes. There are days where I dread waking up because I know what awaits me is yet another news story that's going to cause me to stay in my bedroom doom scrolling. It's like I'm living in some horror film, you know? But there's also good in the world, like my cat Cream Puff. A snicker escapes her lips, and then she's scrambling to muffle her laughter. She covers her mouth with her other hand, but it's too late. I saw that genuine smile. Sorry, that came out of nowhere. I was not expecting you to give a shout out to your cat Cream Puff. Oh, this lady definitely doesn't own a pet. If she did, she'd get it. Only a pet owner would know the indescribable value a pet brings to their lives. He's an absolute sweetheart you want to see. Before she can even answer, I pull out my phone and show her my lock screen, much like a proud parent showing off their child's baby picture. Cute. I know, right? With one last glance at my fluffy menace of a best friend, I put my phone away. But it's not just Cream Puff. I mean, there's my family, friends, and occasional stranger that makes a weekend shift a little less stressful. A vague dark red tinge dusts the woman's cheeks. Wait, is she... Before I even have a chance to internally celebrate my victory, Callie clears her throat and composes herself. She lets out a soft exhale and steadies her breathing. In just a matter of seconds, that blush is gone. Interesting. What about you? You put me on the hot seat, so now it's your turn. Unless that information you also can't tell me. She smiles at me. No, I think I can let you in on at least that. Consider it a reward for having a complex answer to my complex question. I don't have quite the same outlook as you, but I will admit that there are good people in this world, people who are too kind for their own good. It's not hard to see what she means. My dad's like that. He would give the shirt off his back for anyone in need, and sometimes that bit him in the ass. I've seen it happen firsthand. I nod, urging her to continue. She does. Good people die, or if life is feeling particularly cruel, they're tortured by sadistic people that hold power all for their own selfish gain. Those people, they sicken me. And I know she's not lying. Her words intertwine thickly with venom and pure disgust. The mere mention of these people makes her face go pale. It's because of people like this, the world is a rotten wasteland. I think if this world were to be reformed, the good people should stay. Reformed? What in the world does she mean by that? What about, I pause, the good people should stay? Does she mean that this world should start anew? So, kind of like a rapture of sorts, except no one dies and ascends to heaven, yeah? Something along those lines, yes. Along those lines. So, not exactly. No, but don't worry your pretty little head about it, Kate. Just know that you would be someone who stays around. Aw, I would? Is that my reward for making you a killer vampire kiss? At that, she takes another slow, methodical sip, making sure I'm watching her every move. I would be lying if I said it wasn't one of the reasons. There are more reasons? I clasp my hands over my mouth. Crap, crap, crap. I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Why, yes, there are. You are that surprised that you hold so much worth? No need to get all that flustered about the truth. Too late. Already flustered. You're an open book, you know that, Kate? Yeah, that's why I never got away with anything as a teenager. Can't lie for shit. Taking one last sip of her vampire kiss, she sets the drink down, and I attempt to take it away, but she rests her hand on mine. I freeze, turning to look at her. Perhaps I can teach you a trick to make you a better actor. I have a feeling you'll need it soon. How about it? I shouldn't. My rebellious years are far behind me, even if it doesn't look like it. I've transformed into a responsible cat owner and one that would gladly slave away at the stove to make a cream puff's meals. I go to work every day, not missing a single shift, and I even pick up more when it's needed. I go to my large family gatherings even when I would rather do something else, like have a me day, whatever that would look like. I'm a responsible, honest adult. Yet my body tingles with excitement at the mere thought of her offer. Maybe it wouldn't hurt to be a little bad sometimes, a lie or two here and there. That should be okay, right? Okay. She removes her hand from mine, her subtle warmth disappearing shortly after. Good. Now, earlier when you were mesmerized by the fact that I was able to read you, I figured that I can teach you how to do that. It took me several years of practice to master this, so don't expect to be good at it straight away. Oh, don't worry. I was expecting to fall flat on my face a few go-rounds. Well, at least you're being realistic about it. Anyway, you can learn a lot about a person from their facial expressions or even their body movements. Of course, I mean, that's how she was able to figure me out earlier. Something always gives us away. For example, she slowly turns her head and points her long index finger at a lone customer with a nearly empty glass of Coke and rum. Regular of yours? Yeah, that's Phil. Phil, huh? For a minute or two, Callie stares at him, carefully monitoring his behavior and every movement. She tilts her head slightly, probably bouncing an idea or two in her head. Her next question leaves her lips, her eyes remaining on the poor lonely man. Head in his hands, his fingers digging into his hair. It looks like he's muttering something to himself. A poor soul down on his luck, that much is obvious. But what could be plaguing him? Well, I know he's been having issues with money. In that fancy silk suit with shiny new watch? No, not possible. Kelly peeks back over the TV. The news anchor is talking about yet another crime that has occurred in the city. In the lower third, there's a headline of a miscellaneous story being displayed, including how crime has gone up compared to 5 years ago. Crime rates are up. I wonder... Her sight returns to the poor man, who is now fixated on his phone, tapping, his foot anxious. What could he be looking at? I suspect he owes someone money, but he doesn't have the means to pay them. Perhaps a local loan shark who's had it up to here with his excuses for being late on payments, so that's why he's here, drinking his sorrows away for the night. I've seen people who look like that before, fearful for their lives for one reason or another, sweat pouring down their faces while their bodies rattle with unbridled anxiety. It's quite She never finishes her sentence, but the heat that's rushed to her face, coloring her cheeks in a missable light red hue, leaves very little to the imagination. She clears her throat and the faint heat disappears from her face. She whips her head back to me, her face completely neutral as she composes herself. Anyway, that's how you do it, Kate. That's how you read someone. Simply examine them, their body language, their speech, and even their clothes. From there, use the information you have, even if it's just a tiny bit, can help you piece someone's life together. Now, of course, having tangible evidence to prove such theories would be great, but when you're in a situation where you don't have that on hand, using your eyes and head go a long way. I see. So basically, examine the person, use information that you have, and draw up your own conclusions. That's it, huh? She makes it seem so effortless, though, like she hasn't had an incorrect guess yet. I guess I'm awful at observing people. With bartending, you kind of need to read people. If I wasn't good at that, I wouldn't be handing drinks out left and right to people who are way past their limit. Hell, I even know how to talk to people to guarantee a tip. Knowing the right thing to say is a few key skills for a bartender like myself. Whether it's a good or bad tip, though, well, that's something I can't control. But connecting the dots like that, that's some next level shit. But I feverishly tap the side of my leg, heavily contemplating my next move. Part of me wants to put her teachings into action. Then again, what happens if I fall flat on my face? An almost inaudible hum stops the roller coaster I'm on just before it takes a plunge into God knows what. The calming melody brings me back to reality, back to Callie. She's watching me expectantly. She wants me to do something, and I can't keep her waiting any longer. I should put what I've learned into the test to try and impress her, or maybe have her give me another example. It's a safe option, but I may be able to get a more personal, intimate example out of her. Let's ask her to figure us out. I think I need a more personal lesson. You make it seem so simple, but I'm still having a tough time with it all. Do you mind giving me another example? Oh, okay. Let's see. Tapping her fingers rhythmically on the bar top, she scans the bar for her next target. I shake my head. I want you to do me. She turns her head back to me, amused. Sorry, but I think we're still a little early in our relationship to be doing that. Immediate images of her body on top of mine flash through my head, escalating the temperature until my skin feels like it's burning under the ghost of her hands sneaking up underneath my shirt. Nope, stop. Don't do that, Kate. You know that's not what I meant. Pity? Okay, if you're going to really play that game, let me rephrase. I want you to figure me out like how you did Phil, since I'm an open book after all. Oh, Kate, that's a cakewalk. Leaning forward, Callie gives me a devilish smirk. You strike me as the type of person who is craving something. When I walked in here, I noticed how you watched that college kid walk back to her friends. You may have not intended it, but the way you saw her drink with her outgoing friends out late on a weekend, you seemed almost jealous. Her voice rises a bit, carving a slice of joy out of me at that idea. And the way you looked at your phone, frustrated that it was nowhere near closing time, you weren't supposed to be here, were you? Yet here you are. She gestured to the bar we're in. You were forced here, or did you feel like you had to be here? I chew on the inside of my lip. Is that something you've had to do all your life for people, so you wouldn't hurt or disappoint them? My fingers dig into my tattooed arm. Always playing nice, always staying safe. Is that also why you didn't want to try out what I just taught you? Maybe you were afraid of disappointing me? She's too good at this. Way too fucking good. Kate, when I walked in here and you laid your wide eyes on me, dare I say there was a twinkle. And since we've been speaking, that little spark hasn't vanished. Your voice comes alive. It leads me to believe that tonight you've found something that you want. You're being nice, Kate, and that's what I like about you. You You like that about me? Of course, why wouldn't? But it seems as though it's running you a little thin, and I hate to see someone I like in such a state. Callie's eyes wandered over to the clock hanging by the door. A soft sigh escapes her lips, but she remains composed. Her smirk is still ever present on her face. As much as I'm enjoying this, I need to get to the point. She trains her eyes back on me. Kate, you're someone who's nice, but is craving something, and that something is a moment of adrenaline that can be pumped into their otherwise tedious life. She leans forward even more, bringing our faces closer together. You want to live life dangerously, Kate, even just for a moment, because I'll be more than happy to help. I don't flinch this time. I keep a straight face, feeling one corner of my mouth tug upwards. Just tonight, I want to. Oh. She looks me up and down slowly, her gaze lingering until eventually she makes eye contact with me once more, and that's when I notice a change. Her once vibrant eyes have given way to something carnivorous, desire. If that's something you truly want, Kate, then who am I to deny such an obedient little kitten their deepest, darkest desires? Obedient little kitten. That purr sends shockwaves of pleasure throughout my body. She leans forward and my attention drops to the soft curve of her mouth, inches away now. Even if we're in front of a packed tavern, I don't care. Our lips would finally meet. But my hopes are quickly dashed when she shifts and moves closer, turning her head towards my ear instead. Her lips brush against the soft skin, and it takes everything in me not to back away from that subtle yet intense touch. I suppose I have some time to spare to play with you tonight, but can I ask you to do one thing? Words are lodged in my throat. I can't breathe. Is this really happening? I nod meekly. This exchange between us, it's a one-time thing, so don't get attached, okay? I figured as much. With how mysterious she's been all night, she seems like the type to have a no-strings-attached outing every now and again. Still, that doesn't ease my disappointment. When do you get out? 2 a.m. Is she going to take back her offer and I get out late and who knows where she has to be at God knows what time? I suppose I can push back my prior engagement for a little later, just for you. Almost as if she feels the intense heat radiating off my face, Callie leans away, sitting back in the stool. She digs into her pocket and gently places a slightly worn-out bill onto the top. It's 20, more than enough for her drinks. Meet me at the bus stop outside as soon as you get out. I don't like to wait. Before I can even gesture a reply, she slinks out of her chair and walks away, heading towards the exit. Her stride is slow, like she wants me to take in every part of her, a small preview of what's to come later tonight. When she finally exits the tavern, I can finally breathe again. If you can call desperate pants like I'd spent the night running a marathon breathing. I did that. I really friggin' did that. Kate? My coworker and me brings back Charlie. He's mixing a drink. He slides over concerned. Admittedly, I'm a little concerned as well. What the hell just happened right there? Did you, Yes, I did. Let's get back to work before I explode. Oh no, you're not doing that to me. Give me the details now. Nope. I playfully shove Remy away and jump to cleaning up the small mess that Callie left behind. He chuckles a bit, quietly whispering that I owe him the details later. For my own sanity, I keep myself busy for the rest of the night. Even when the crowd of customers die down at 2 a.m. approaches, I do whatever I can to make time go by faster without trying to glance at the clock or my phone for the time. That works, and soon enough I'm out. And what awaits me is a woman standing under a streetlight. Her purple hood is up, and the light rainfall is leaving a dapple pattern on the fabric, but there's no mistaking her. It's Callie. We hop into a taxi, and the drive is quiet. Callie's fingers dancing dangerously on my inner thigh. I look at her, and in the darkness I can make out a teasing smile. Eventually we get to my apartment. No words are exchanged, but once we make it inside and I escort Cream Puff out of my bedroom, all bets are off. She shoves me onto the bed and pounces, our lips clashing violently against each other. It takes me a moment to recover from the whiplash. Once I do, I'm in my element. Our tongues dance and tangle together, and she deepens the kiss by roughly grabbing my hair and pulling me nearer. Lifting my knee, I press against her core and treasure her muffled moans as she shifts and pins me once more to kiss my mouth before parting. Mi Paquina Gatia, my little kitten. She sounds so confident in calling me new pet names, even when she puts too much emphasis on certain syllables. Since when did I know Spanish? Or when did you know Spanish? An hour ago. I got bored waiting around for you. She learned Spanish just for me? No, Kate, you need to focus. Remember what she said. This exchange is a one-time thing. Don't let your heart go aflutter. Stop it and stay cool. Take in the moment for what it is. A single moment in time. Tomorrow shall be gone. You got this. Impressed. It was good for a beginner, but you'll need to brush up on your pronunciation. Oops. Okay. Shaking her head, she presses her index finger against my lips, and my remaining thoughts melt away. She then gives me an orderly push back, and my back falls flat to the mattress. She wastes no time to straddle me, a devilish smirk tucking at the corners of her mouth. She lifts her finger under her tank top strap, teasing me with what lies beneath. Let's save the Spanish lesson for another time. Right now, I want you to show me what you can do with that mouth of yours. In the morning. There's someone nuzzling against my cheek, someone warm, someone furry. Slowly open my eyes and greeted with the familiar sight of Cream Puff, who looks happy despite having to sit in the living room for the night. Giving him some good scratches under his chin, I peek over to where I last remember Callie looking back at me. She's gone. And that's the end. Okay. That was kind of cute. It was interesting. Something a little different. So... okay. There we go. Best ending. Dangerous. So I guess we got the good ending, which is probably the one we're supposed to get. Oh. And here's your vampire kiss. Miss. What's this? Thank you. The woman happily leaves me confused and heartbroken. It's Monday, the start of a new week, and here I am, mourning the past. A one-time exchange, huh? I knew how dangerous it would be to get involved with someone like her, how dangerous it would be to have a one-night stand with a woman who I knew nothing about. I fucking knew the risks that were going to come with it. Such a decision. I don't regret it, but my heart still aches. Breaking news. Mayor Levine has been found dead in his home. My eyes shot up to the TV. After failing to return his lawyer calls and not showing up to a meeting this morning, officers were sent to his home for a wellness check. After breaking through the door, they uncovered his bloodied body. The investigation is still in its earliest stages, and Lieutenant Dillon is expected to make a statement at 10 p.m. about the incident. For more on this developing story, make sure you stay tuned to A News. Fragments of Saturday night flash through my head like an old-time movie. The news report, the mayor getting acquitted of all the charges of his crime, and Callie's look of disgust when the mayor's picture displayed on the screen. Good people die. Or, if life's feeling particularly cruel, they're tortured by sadistic people that would hold power all for their own selfish gains. Those people, they sicken me. It's because of people like this the world is rotten. I think if this world were to be reformed, the good people should stay. I can't think about it. I don't want to think about it. Steeling myself, I turn around and met with a young couple whose eyes are glued to the TV screen. I try my best to greet them with a fake, unconvincing smile. Welcome to the Red Clover Inn. What can I get you to today? Oh, that was a neat little thing. So, okay, now we are really done. Um, yeah, that was an interesting little game. So I will leave the description, or I will leave the game link in the description in case anybody wants to play this. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, no, 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 no.